Alphonse Mucha by Alyciana Cazares and Sarah Peralta. So, who is Alphonse Mucha? Alphonse Mucha was an artist from Czechoslovakia who contributed to the Art Nouveau movement. As for his life's timeline, on July 14, 1860, Alphonse Mucha was born in Ivanice, Moravia, which was a province of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. By 1877, his attempt to join the Academy of Art in Prague had failed. However, by 1879, Mucha managed to find work as an auxiliary at a firm of theater designers in Vienna. In the year 1881, he was dismissed from his job as a designer due to a fire which burned down the Ring Theater, which was the main client of the firm he worked at. In the same year, Mucha had settled in a small town named Mikulov, where he liked to create portraits. He also met his first patron, Count Kuhn, who would invite him to decorate his castle with his paintings. To your left, you can see one of his self-portraits, and by 1884, Alphonse Mucha would study art in Munich. He would also create work for Count Kuhn's brother, Count Egon, in Tyrol. However, by 1888, Mucha would move to Paris. To the right, you can see another self-portrait of his, and by 1889, Alphonse Mucha would begin to produce illustrations for the reviews. Mucha's first poster, Gismonda, is created in the year 1894 for the actress Sarah Bernhardt. He enters a contract with her, and this leads him to a career in decorating boards. By 1900, he would plan different pavilions for the Exposition Universal while also working for Fouquet Jewelers. In 1904, he would move to the U.S. He does return to his homeland in 1913 and turn to painting patriotic frescoes while also elaborating a collection titled The Slav Epic. He donated 20 paintings of the collection to the city of Prague and the Czech people in 1928. In 1936, he has an exhibition dedicated to him in the Real Games Gallery. In July 14, 1939, Alphonse Mucha had died of pneumonia, and to the left is another portrait of him. However, it's not a self-portrait.
Technique and style. Mucha's technique and style remained essentially academic well into the 1890s. Mucha was influenced by the Symbolist movement in the second half of the 1880s. The Symbolists were reacting against the materialist and positivist philosophies that had found expression in the Realist movement and in Impressionism with its devotion to the object recording of sensory perception. Despite him being influenced by the movement, he never declared himself to be a symbolist. The arrival of the Art Nouveau style in the mid-1890s had released Mucha from his academic style so he can express his native talent and inventiveness. Okay, art movement. So Art Nouveau or New Art. Art Nouveau is a style that is characterized by elegant, curvy lines. It was characterized with having a sense of liveliness and movement. It was often inspired by natural forms such as plants and flowers. It was frequently seen as something alien. Germany had called it the Belgian tapeworm style, and it was a very decorative style. Mucha and subject matter. It was mostly women. He utilized feminine allure and stressed luxurious or a state of dreamy, opulent harmony where there was little, as in the advertisements for biscuits, Nestle products, railroads, and bikes. Mucha offers the most characteristic examples of hair fetish and of women as sexual objects. Mucha's son had once said, "A woman for him, his father, was not a body, but a beauty incorporated in matter and acting through matter. That is why all his female figures are not really of this world." So since the Art Nouveau style demanded the creation of a decorative scheme that would allow for the repetition of stylistic patterns, he normally did pieces in themes of four. The three examples of these are the 4 art cycles he did, the 4 times of day, and the 4 flower cycles. The first painting we'll talk about is Sarah Bonet's poster Gizmonda in 1894. This poster was the one that made him famous. The story varies, but it goes as follows. On Christmas in 1894, Mucha was working at Les Merciers printing works when Sarah Bennett called, needing an artist to make the poster for Gizmonda. All the artists happened to be on holiday except for Mucha, so he designed the poster. The poster became popular among the Parisian public. People would go as far as tearing down the posters and stealing them, or bribing the people who own the posters to take them because they found it so beautiful. What made the poster so alluring was the figure was in a near life size. It was long and narrow with pastel colors. It gave off a feeling of dignity and gravity with intricate details and patterns in fabric. Still, the figure is still not set. The next picture, the lithograph, is called The Zodiac, and it was made in 1896. Originally, it was made for Champenoise, who wanted it as an in-house calendar. The editor-in-chief of Le Plume bought the rights for this piece because he really, really enjoyed it. There was actually 9 versions of the Zodiac. One of them is included. Some of them have writing on them. Some of them don't. Some versions of the Zodiac were printed without any words, so they could be used as a decorative panel. And so the breakdown of this is that it shows the curvy, elegant lines in the hair, which follows the Art Nouveau style. On the top of the poster, there is pictures of leaves where it follows the elegant leaves and nature that the Art Nouveau style usually depicts. The woman in this picture has the fair skin, small nose, and pink lips. It has pastel colors and earth tones, and around her is a halo where the zodiacs were incorporated, and she wears a royal crown that makes her look elegant and dignified. And the last poster that he had that we will talk about is the Lottery of National Unity, and he made this in 1912. So it was a poster used for raising funds for the education in the Czech language. It reflects anti-Germanization spirit, which is he wanted to prevent the assimilation into German language and culture. It's a symbolic The symbolic mother of the Czech nation was depicted in despair. She is a woman who has her hand on her face, and her arm is resting on a wooden statue of the 3-faced pagan god who was the protector of the early Slavs. In front of her, in the front ground, is a schoolgirl. She has elegant ruby hair with her hair braided. She looks towards the viewer, and she looks in a very dissatisfied look at the viewer because she's trying to Mucha was trying to comment on the fact that she is upset that the Czechoslovakian nation had lost their language, and she demands that they do something, that they educate themselves on the language and not lose culture and not make the nation sad. And so the breakdown, it has a dark theme and dark tones. The background is very dark. There's no life in it. The tree that she's sitting on is dead, as opposed to all the life that we've seen before with the beautiful flowers and the women. Yet this one is so dark, which is quite stunning. And that's it.
And this is the works cited page. As you can see here, there is one from a museum specifically about Alphonse Mucha. There are several books and several different articles.
Journals.
Yes, about
journals and books.
Yes, about his pieces, and that's it.